So we're going to hear, you're not going to put anything up as far as,
No,
because that works out pretty good to
it
look at.
does. And the reason we're not is because if you guys end up appointing someone, their name's
I
not
understand.
going to be.
I understand.
If you can, it's okay. It should be attached. Yeah. Yeah, that's perfect. That's it right there. Yeah, very good.
It's on the consent calendar, so it's 30th of the consent
You ready? Call the Broken Arrow City Council meeting to order. We have invocation by Reverend Palin.
Good evening. Would you pray with me, please? God of justice and mercy, we thank you for the opportunity to be here this evening. I ask you to bless our mayor, the city manager, all of our city staff, and the council members. I give you thanks for the service of our officials that they offer in behalf of the community of Broken Arrow. Bless those people who came to listen or to speak tonight. Allow all who are here to be in unity and committed to making this community a good place to live. We all come tonight as human beings with our worries, burdens, joys, and hopes, trusting that you alone can bring us peace that passes all understanding. Help us to trust and lean on you more each day. Remind us of the words of the Apostle Paul, who told the church in Rome that those in authority are your servants, and that honoring you, God, and doing your will is their highest purpose. We pray that you, O lover of all persons, would be glorified tonight through the decisions of this city council. We pray that we would have the eyes to see how our lives are connected and how our common good is upheld when we listen and respond to those most vulnerable among us. We pray that your kingdom would be evidenced in Broken Arrow through your power working in each of these, your servants. May we be reminded of your constant presence as we attend to the work of the city tonight. We pray for wisdom, for strength, for courage to do what is right and good for all citizens. May we put the interest of others above our own. May we act with love for the good of the entire community. May we be good neighbors, recognizing your image in each person here. In the name of the Creator, the Redeemer, and the Sustainer, I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, please stand and join Vice Mayor Gillespie for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Excuse me, Mayor. Roll call first.
You can remain standing if you'd like. Roll call.
Ford,
Here.
Parks, Gillespie,
Here.
Wimpy.
Here. You would think at some point I'd get that.
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. The next item is our consideration of appointment, but I did want to make a remark real quick that in our we had a special meeting before our special meeting that we did vote and authorize a declaration of emergency for this past weekend. So I just wanted to make sure that that was noted, and I'm sure you can elaborate at that a little bit later or for now.
Would you like for me to say something now?
Sure.
Earlier this evening, the city council had a special meeting, as the mayor mentioned, to declare a state of emergency as a result of the straight line winds that we experienced early Sunday morning. And as a result of the damage that we sustained, and we're just now completing the assessment throughout the community, we have ensured that should there be a state and a federal declaration of an emergency that would be eligible for funds. I have our emergency management director, Jamie Ott, here, and I just want to commend him for his outstanding efforts in helping coordinate this event on my behalf and on behalf of the council. We continue to assess the damage and make sure that we're clearing our roadways. Also that we're coordinating with PSO, because right now the biggest challenge we have is trying to get the Broken Arrow residents that are without power. And I understand we're still probably in the tens of thousands that are actually still out, but I know they're making great efforts right now. And so the resolution the council passed gives my office the authority to make decisions that if we need to move quickly to purchase something in order to help the residents of our community. So I just like to say thank you to Jamie. I'd also like to say thank you to County Commissioner Stan Salee, who reached out on behalf of the county commissioners to see if we need anything, and all the department directors and all the city employees, especially those frontline employees, have been working since early Sunday morning to ensure that our streets are clear and that our water's running and that everything we need to reduce the amount of disruption that we've experienced is minimized. So hopefully we can get back to normal operations later this week. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. And I know we've had state and federal legislators that have also reached out. So if there are needs, they are willing to pitch in and find ways
Yes.
to help in those situations. So
I also see Michael Gordon in the audience with
Yes.
PSO.
Thank
And
you, Michael.
I was headed to Oklahoma City this morning, and it was really nice to see the backups coming in to help PSO, and just be nice to alignment. I heard on the radio today, they said, don't talk to them and ask them when your electric's going to be on because you're delaying it. So
Yes.
don't talk and ask
Don't
them
talk to them.
anything. Yes, let them keep working.
And then real quick, will you also add, there's been discussion about why tree limbs need to be at 4 foot. And if we can just clear that up. I know some people are exhausted from trimming trees. I know people don't have chainsaws and don't have the ability to do it, but there's specific reasons why we ask that, as well as it speeds up, obviously, the pickup process, and we're trying to get things picked up as quickly as possible. But
Sure. We're going to use this week right now to give residents the time to actually do their own assessment, determine what actions they need to take to clean up their properties. And we will be offering a free collection starting next Monday, the 26th. It'll run through the 30th. The solid waste department, with the assistance of our street and stormwater department, will be going around street by street and picking up the materials. The reason why we need the materials to be in 4 foot lengths is because, number one, it's extremely difficult to handle that material, whether it is with the workers picking them up or what's picking up with front end loaders or other pieces of equipment. This allows us to actually get through the entire city in a very timely fashion and to be able to move that material in the trucks and the trailers that we have available to get it to either our temporary disposal site or to where its final place is going to be, which we'll be announcing sometime very soon. So we understand there may be some cases where folks can't because they just don't physically able to do that, but we do understand it may be an inconvenience, but we really need folks to try to get it to 4 foot length, and so we can manage it and get it picked up within a week.
thank you. All right, item 5 is consideration of appointment. 5A, consideration, discussion, and possible action by City Council to appoint a person to fill the vacancy in the office of the council member for Ward Number 4 for the Broken Arrow City Council pursuant to 11 OS Section 8-109. We had a special meeting at 5, and we heard from 9 amazing candidates. It was quite impressive, and it's going to be a very hard decision that we've got up here if we so choose to appoint. So do we want to have any discussion on the matter? And I'll also entertain a motion to appoint if so moved.
I'm going to say I had to leave and just go pray about this. I'll be honest, because after we adjourned, I was like, I got to go find a quiet place and pray about this because this is very difficult. And we had some really, we're not just saying that, really talented individuals that got up and shared why they want to be a city councilor in Broken Arrow. And so whatever happens, we've got 9 people that we're going to be calling. If one person gets appointed, the other 8 of you are getting called to come and do something with our city. So this is so hard because I feel like it is our duty because of that first shall in the state statute to at least we try to appoint somebody. And so I am going to make a motion because that's just who I am. And I'm just going to go out and do it. And I'm going to make the motion, then I'm going to say why. So I am making a motion to appoint Raymond Vile as the city councilor, Ward 4. and I'm not going to say any reason why I didn't select the other ones because it'll maybe make me cry. But what I'm going to say why I feel like he would be a great choice is because, in my opinion, first, the person that was elected and ended up resigning, he is very similar to as far as like his background. And so I feel like that he is someone that the Ward 4 residents would have possibly chosen the same as they chose that person because of their backgrounds or similar backgrounds. And just some of the things, and I've spoken to a few of you that called me, and just with that, I feel like he's the person that I personally think fills that position the best. So.
Well, and I was going to nominate Justin Green because I've known him for a long time. I've worked with him. So I don't know that we have that's who I was going to nominate. So I guess someone needs to have a second on one of them or none.
So, didn't think of this conundrum.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
I mean, they were a lot of good candidates. This is a very hard decision to make. And, maybe it just needs to go to the voice of the people at this point. I really thought that we would come to a consensus, honestly.
I did too.
So,
Well, and I
don't disagree. I mean, he's a great candidate. I mean, we have like great candidates. It's crazy.
Well, it may come down to me. And I am, both are unbelievable. I think I may be seconding the nomination of Justin Green. And that's a hard one. But I loved that he had a municipal background of sorts. He does understand municipality. Not that we ever came in. I mean, you did because you worked for the city, but and probably you didn't even have when you got the knock on your door to be appointed. But I've known Justin as well as Raymond, and this is really hard. But yep, that's what I'm gonna do. So we have a motion and a second.
I'll make one comment, and it won't be a long comment because I made it the last meeting a while ago, is that I really feel like that it needs to go back to the vote of the people. But I will tell you, I would have really had difficulty because I voted for him, as I talked about, and there are some really good candidates. I went from 5 to 7 after listening to them, voting for them. But I just felt like, and I felt like all along, it was no surprise. I just felt like the resignation happened so quickly after a major election, 4,500 people voting. I felt like it needed to go back to the citizens. So I'm going to abstain when the vote comes down.
Do you want to tell us who your top one was?
So
I didn't like Justin.
yeah, and I would look forward to serving with any of them, clearly.
Right.
I mean, I would serve.
absolutely, absolutely. So, question: with it, an abstain is a no vote, correct?
That's correct.
Okay,
But I didn't want to vote no
right. No, I get it. I get it.
because I'm for somebody getting on there, and really any of them would be fine. So that just means I'm okay with, you know what I mean, if you want to go for that. But I think it also means that, I don't know, you guys know what it means. You got to have 3 votes, I think. I'm
Yeah.
not a lawyer.
Yes, that is the truth.
Okay.
All right. Any further discussion?
Well, you do have a motion. Actually, I guess you've got 2 motions, so
So
Trevor.
if I may, Mayor, for clarification, in my opinion, the vice mayor's motion died for lack of a second because there wasn't a second for it.
Right.
And so then there was a motion by Councilmember Ford that was seconded, and that's the question before this body at this point.
You second it.
I did.
She seconded.
Roll call.
Ford,
Yes.
Parks,
Abstain?
Gillespie,
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes. All right, so looks like our new city council member is Mr. Justin Green. But I want to thank everyone that came out.
Yeah.
Like, it was amazing to see so many people who were interested. Thank you for coming up. And I know this podium does something to you. And so to come up here and share your reasons why you want to serve our great city meant a lot. It was hard.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was hard.
But I am excited to have Ward 4 represented. I think you're going to do a great job, sir. I think any one of you would have done a great job, but I'm excited. So the next item will be to administer the oath. Now you're gonna come up here and you're gonna have no idea what you're doing up here tonight, but you do get to sit with us.
None of us knew what we were
None of
doing the
us.
first time.
Well, I think it may be important too to say now because we can't talk until we do get to the meetings. Like, so we didn't have any idea how anyone was going to vote.
No, we
Right.
literally did not know. And
But welcome in a minute. In a minute, we'll welcome you when you get sworn in.
You want his family to come up there?
Yeah.
yes, his family should come up.
This is two of the three of my daughters at grandma's house.
Oh, hi.
Like, we didn't know we were going to be in the front.
There will be two oaths. This is the oath of office and the loyalty oath. So raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Justin Green,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support,
that I will support,
obey, and defend
obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma,
and the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma,
that I will not knowingly
that I will not knowingly
receive,
receive,
directly or indirectly,
directly or indirectly,
any money or other valuable thing
any money or other valuable thing
for the performance or non-performance
for the performance or non-performance
of any act or duty
of any act or duty
pertaining to my office,
pertaining to my office,
other than the compensation allowed by law.
other than the compensation allowed by law.
I further swear
I further swear
that I will faithfully discharge
that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of a city council member
the duties of a city council member
for the city of Broken Arrow
for the city of Broken Arrow
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Now for the loyalty oath. Again, raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Justin Green,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
and the laws of the United States of America
and the laws of the United States of America
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of the State of Oklahoma,
of the State of Oklahoma,
and that I will faithfully discharge my duties
and that I will faithfully discharge my duties
as a city council member
as a city council member
for the city of Broken Arrow
for the city of Broken Arrow
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, council.
Sorry, no name
Tony's
tag
gonna
yet.
help you.
We don't have a name tag.
Especially
Our
for,
most technology-driven man.
These look much more comfortable than those.
Yeah, they are a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
they can get uncomfortable though.
So we're doing voice votes
Yes. So,
this meeting. So those that obviously were not appointed, we really do hope and almost expect that we'll see you guys submit your applications to be involved in the city because every single one of you were outstanding candidates. So we'd love to see you more involved in the community.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that was fun and historic. I think we've had this be our 5th appointment in the history of our city. Were you our first?
I was the first.
He was our first appointment to the
Yeah.
city
Oh, my
council.
goodness.
Yeah,
They didn't mention me, but I was the
yeah,
first.
1978. Yes.
Our records need to go back
Thanks.
I mean, I was only 6 years old, so.
Oh. I'm gonna leave.
All right, we're at the consent agenda now. I've got to focus. Okay, 7. We are going to be pulling R and AD for discussion. Are there any other items to be removed?
Move to approve the consent agenda minus R and AD.
Second?
All right, we have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Green,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Parks,
Yes.
Gillespie,
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes.
Mayor, if I can, real quick.
Mhm.
The council approved tonight a number of the use agreements that are very important to the operation of the city, and I'm very pleased with the cooperation that we received from all of the entities, and I'm sure you had an opportunity to take a look at those use agreements. With respect to the senior citizens, we continue to make great progress in regards to implementing the recommendations, and what I've done is I've broken those recommendations into the ones that needed at this point to be able to increase city funding that council wanted to have done to be able to expand the programs. And then we still have to look at the programming itself. And so those things, those conversations are being had and will be had probably between now and the end of the year. And I'm very excited. And I just want to express my gratitude to the History Museum in terms of cooperation, in terms of the council member that will continue to be Mr. Parks. And he's gone over there and done exactly what the council knew that he would do and build relationships. And so I'm very excited about the fact that we were able to address the council's concerns, as well as he's gone over there and we can start building that relationship and making sure that we're working together and moving forward. And Lori Hill owes a great deal of credit for actually managing all of these agreements and making sure that they get done in a timely manner. So I appreciate your approval this evening.
Okay, thank you. Okay, item R, approval of and authorization to execute firefighter Christopher Rivera's application for participation on Oklahoma Task Force 1, Urban Search and Rescue Team, and renewal for firefighters Jeremy Roberts, Justin Williams, Stephen Hines, Jill Beckham, and Joe's. Yes, Octo. Can we just say that? I was going to try to practice that one, to participate on the Oklahoma Task Force. Chief.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, Mr. Spurgeon. Congratulations, Councilor Green. Glad to have you here. This item is Oklahoma Task Force 1, which is a statewide technical rescue team comprised of individuals from multiple agencies, Tulsa County Sheriff's Office, Burgers Fire Department, Broken Arrow Fire Department, Tulsa. Several entities all across the state come together to form a task force that can be called into action and serve any community in need. And they often actually have national deployments and go out of the state for deployments for hurricanes or other emergencies as needed. These individuals, there are 5 applications tonight, as the mayor read, who have been on the team for many years. And tonight, Chris Rivera is the new applicant wanting to join the team for a year period. It's important to me to bring these to council every year and renew them because I think it shows the city's commitment to the program and to participating as Oklahoma Task Force members. And it also is really important to me because it clarifies to the employee that the city is covering them once they're deployed, whether it's a workers' comp issue or whatever. They're under the umbrella of the city. So I would recommend we approve all these applications tonight for these individuals' participation in Oklahoma Task Force 1.
Can we do it all at once? Is that correct?
I think so.
Yes.
It was one item on the agenda. I think we can.
Okay.
I'll move to approve.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Green,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Parks,
Yes.
Gillespie,
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes. On to item AD on the consent agenda, notification of community development's authorization of creation and installation of banners for the New Orleans Square intersection. Kevin. So nice to have you.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, councilors, and congratulations, brand new Councilor Green.
Thank you.
On behalf of the Community Development Department. Councilors, this evening, this item we're bringing before you for your review and approval. The Community Development Department has partnered with our Tourism Economic Development team to create and order a production of 15 promotional banners for the light poles in the newly constructed intersection located at New Orleans Square. Those banners, they're scheduled to be installed by the City of Broken Arrow Parks Department before the July 1st block party, but we are unfortunately running out of time. There's a slight, maybe a bit of confusion. What was sent to you was all 15 versions of the proposed banner. Okay, there are only 3 that meet all the design guidelines. We went back and looked at the promotional guidelines, the marketing guidelines, made sure everything fit, and we actually had to make some minor adjustments. Those minor adjustments were made. So the first 3 that you see of the banners are the banners that were chosen by the Community Development Department. They meet all the design guidelines, and we will order 5 each of the, I believe it's the shop, dine, and fun. Thank you. Fun, shop, dine, and fun banners. We can get those installed quickly. We believe there's about a 1-week turnaround on the order, and that'll give the Parks Department time to get them up and ready for the block party coming up on July 1st.
I just have one. I'm with branding. I don't like the multiple fonts. I'm like a one font kind of gal. Is there a reason why shop isn't one of the other 2 fonts? So now we have 3 different fonts on the banner.
Again, this all went through our branding department. I do not have the answer to that question. I can certainly find out. And I know that there are branding guidelines that they showed me, and these all
Which I
meet.
think we even discussed that when we designed this, because they had multiple fonts on the first thing. And I talked about that as well. But
Okay. We can certainly take a look at those guidelines, and we'd love your input as well to find out how.
And I pulled this off the consent agenda. I didn't know if Vice Mayor would have done it anyway, but I'm really excited about this. This is going to bring so much, even more, to what's already becoming so beautiful in our city. So I know.
And I hadn't pulled it off intentionally because I had it in my notes to talk about in my remarks, but I think we've done such an excellent job at branding. When I hear, like when my neighbor's kids came over one day and we're talking about New Orleans Square, and they don't call it 101st and Elm, they call it New Orleans Square. And so that means our branding has worked. I mean, when young people are calling it that, and when you say 101st and Elm and they correct you and they say, do you mean New Orleans Square? Yes, that is exactly what I mean. And so branding does work, and having something like this where from outside our city, I was talking to a senator outside of our city today, and they knew what I was talking about when I said New Orleans Square. That is effective branding. So, and I agree with the mayor mentioned about multiple fonts. Sometimes the fonts might be the same and like have like when they're bold, they look different, but those actually look different from.
I almost think that the font for the New Orleans should be your fun, if that's what you're.
Yeah.
So.
But that goes back to I also have a advertising degree, so it's like.
I know.
So,
I'm like, that's what I was saying. I mean, it jumped right out.
Yeah.
I'm like,
So,
how many
but
fonts do we need on one?
I hadn't said anything, but I love all of it. So I'm excited.
Well, I do believe we need some specific direction from the council because we do need to get these ordered like immediately. So if you would like us to go back and change the shop, dine, fun to the same font as New Orleans, we'd like to do that tomorrow morning with your blessing and then go ahead and get this ordered.
I think that'd be great.
Yeah, I would be good with.
I'd be good with that.
We'll do that, and I'll have Lori send them out.
Okay.
If you approve that, and with that understanding, we'll
Yep.
take care of it.
I think that'd be great.
So I'll make a motion to approve item AD with the changes mentioned previously.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Green,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Parks,
Yes.
Gillespie,
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes. All right, item 9, public hearings, appeals, presentation, recognitions, and awards. 9A, presentation of certificates of recognition to Braden Phillips and Brody Dollar and their achievements on the Broken Arrow High School Fishing Club team as 6th graders. Vice Mayor.
Yes, I asked for this item to be added to the agenda, and I'm going to talk about these boys, and then I want them to come up and get their certificates. But these 2 young Broken Arrow residents, Braden Phillips and Brody Dollar, are you both 12 still? Okay. So 12-year-olds, they're going into 7th grade. So they did this as 6th graders they actually are on the Broken Arrow High School Fishing Club team because there isn't a juniors team. So they They fish under the junior league, and which are 8th graders and below. So they fish to 6th graders, 8th graders and below. But this is their very first year competing at this level, and they recently placed 6th in the Oklahoma Bass Nation Junior State Championship held on Lake Tenkiller. And they also achieved 3rd place in the Bass Nation Oklahoma Eastern Division Anglers of the Year. So this was achieved by their cumulative tournament points at 4 different tournaments on 2 other Oklahoma lakes, Fort Gibson and Lake Eufaula. So Brody and Braden, would you all come up front so we can do your certificates, and would everyone like to come down and get a picture?
Sure.
Stand over here. I'm going to stand facing the audience. So I'm going to read. I'm going to read one of them. Okay. So Braden and Brody, as a 6th grader and as a member of the Broken Arrow High School Fishing Club, 9th through 12th grade, recently placed 6th in the Oklahoma Bass Nation Junior State Championship and also achieved 3rd place at the Oklahoma Bass Nation Oklahoma Eastern Division Anglers of the Year. This is the first time competing at this level and was achieved by cumulative tournament points at the different tournaments, and it's signed by, at the time, the 4 current counselors. So you might need to get Counselor Green's signature before you leave. So congratulations, Braden.
Picture of it all, and then we'll let the parents come up and get a picture as well too.
It is so important for our kids to be outside doing activities like this.
3, 2, 1. All back.
Yep.
I think Johnny maybe would like volunteer next time they go fishing.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Johnny, I think they want one more picture with the parents.
Oh.
And he's ready to go.
I thought it was going to fish.
Why do you want us in there?
Parents cannot. I know y'all probably want to be back in here. Are we all getting in? Okay.
One more.
They need a photographer. Whenever you're
Right here.
right there, you go. Bye.
You guys are all right.
You better be good.
Yeah.
Now they're
Yeah. I told him, I said, talk to me about everything. I have to say that I go to a soccer game. Good luck on your soccer game.
Thank you.
All right, item 9B, presentation and recognition of Broken Arrow officer, or police officer Michael Peel for development of Citizens Police Academy in Spanish. Officer Melissa Madrano for being the translator, Officer Leo Sanchez for the conversion of the curriculum, and the volunteers and instructors for their assistance in the implementation of a Spanish language Citizens Police Academy, and ultimately creating a bond with the Spanish-speaking community. Councilor Ford.
I was going to have Chief Berryhill go ahead and come down and start us off. And then we have Representative Ross Ford and Representative Kevin McDougall going to give a citation on behalf of the state. Then I will read what we have from the city. And then I'm going to let Officer Peel wind us up. But we also have a video too before Officer Peel speaks. So Chief.
Before Officer Peel
Peel
spills.
speaks.
Mayor,
Yeah,
City
Peel
Council,
speaks.
Mayor, City Council, City Manager. The background of this, Broken Arrow Police Officer Michael Peel is a public affairs officer for the Broken Arrow Police Department. In 2019, Officer Peel was tasked by Police Administration to develop programs for outreach to our Spanish-speaking community. Officer Peel is not a Spanish speaker, by the way. Nevertheless, Officer Peel developed the curriculum for the Spanish Language Citizens Police Academy. Many of the program's first students included religious leaders, local business owners, civic leaders, further amplifying the department's reach to the Spanish-speaking community. Since the start of the Spanish-speaking community academy in Spanish, reporting of minor crimes has increased and the incidence of violent crimes has decreased in the Broken Arrow Spanish-speaking communities. Officer Peel has heard from his residents crediting the relationships the department has built with the Spanish-speaking community and from fellow officers agreeing that they have experienced more Spanish speakers coming forward as witnesses. The Broken Arrow Police Department's Citizens Police Academy in Spanish program is now influencing surrounding areas as police departments and other states have asked for information about the program's design and coordination. Officer Peel not only makes certain that everyone in his local community has access to the police department services, but also shares his experiences and resources with other states who help to start similar programs. There was Officer Peel did the bulk of all the work designing the program, getting it off the ground, designing the curriculum. But I have some names I want to just read off real quick as far as people that were integral to the program behind the scenes. And we have some of them here today. So if you're in the audience and I read your name, please stand up or wave your hand. For translators, we had Officer Melissa Madrano, and former communications officer and now a Bixby police officer, Leo Sanchez. Volunteers were Victor Castellano, Hubert Gallardo, Griselda Martinez, Glendy Riley, Eric Santiago, Jerry Schellenberger. I hope I have all the instructors. I may not have all of them besides Officer Peel, Officer Michael Long, Officer John Daniels, Crime Scene Tech Karen Weichel, Sergeant Keith Cook, Officer Eric Keach, Officer Mike Ryan, Sergeant Shane Cothran, Captain Deidre Hughes, CSI Cody Stanton, CSI Taylor Jordan, Captain Stephen Garrett, Sergeant John Zoller, Captain Josh McCoy, Captain Steve Smith, Officer Mark Carter, Reserve Officer Paul Garner, who I believe is here, Reserve Officer Brandon Reynolds, and the videographer who is going to be showing us the film here in a minute is Ethan Hutchins.
Well, and I told the chief we just let him sit up, but why don't you all come on down? Because I thought there may be like 50 people, but there's not. So Glendy, everyone, if you're here and your name was mentioned, and plus Leo, you're in your uniform and everything, got all dressed up for us in your long sleeves.
Come on down. A little
Hey,
closer.
Ryan.
Come on.
Actually, I'll just give these to Chief and Chief can, I'll let you distribute this so we don't take. Here's Melissa's too. She's not here. But thank you guys. Of course, a lot of you know I did Citizens Police Academy for a while, so I mean, it does take an army, but it also takes a really good coordinator, but we're gonna get to him in a minute. So I wanted just to recognize you all. Thank you for everything that you did. Thanks for coming, you know. And of course, Lindy also goes, Lindy, and some of you may too, still goes with Officer Peel to other places trying to continue to recruit for the Spanish-speaking CPA. So I appreciate all your work. Thank you, guys. No, Representative Ford's going to come down and Representative McDougal to give a state citation. Officer Peel, come on down, if you don't mind, while they give you this.
Look at that necklace.
This is kind of fun. Like Officer Peel and I were in the same units. This is kind of fun. Like, come on down, Officer Peel. Do you want to stand right here while they read it to you? Yeah.
Not really.
I'm telling you, like, this is probably, he's not real excited about being here, but thank you for doing that anyway.
Well, thank you, Council, Mayor Whippy, and Council, and City Manager. We appreciate you allowing us to be here again. I think this is my third time here in the last 3 months presenting a citation. So, but this one here really means a lot to me because not only do I know this person real well, but I know his character. I know how he treats every job that he has on the police department. So it's really exciting to be able to deliver that. And, I will tell you that not only has he done a great job with the Spanish-speaking CPA, but he also has a Kids Exceptional Rodeo that either one of those would be enough probably for someone to win Officer of the Year. But for one person, one officer to have two programs, in a couple of years, and the list just goes on and on of his accomplishments. It's just an honor to be here. So with that, it's a citation. It says Officer Michael Peel, Distinguished Service. Whereas Officer Michael Peel is a dedicated individual whose compassion extends far beyond his normal duties, and thanks to his commitment to helping those around him, has been recognized for distinguished service in community policing by the U.S. Attorney General Merrick B. Garland and U.S. Attorney Clinton J. Johnson. And whereas Michael Pill currently serves as the Public Affairs Officer for the Broken Arrow Police Department, where he worked on establishing the curriculum for the Spanish Language Citizens Police Academy, despite not being a native speaker, to ensure those in his community have not only access, but a relationship with the other police officers. And whereas Michael Pill continued to help all of those around him by establishing the Cowboys, Cops, and Kids Exceptional Rodeo to provide those kids with special needs an opportunity to participate in a rodeo. And whereas it is fitting and proper that the Oklahoma House of Representatives, acting on behalf of the citizens of the great state of Oklahoma, takes great pride in recognizing Michael Pill for his outstanding accomplishments and extend to him our highest honor. Now, therefore, pursuant to a motion by Representative Ross Ford, Stan May, Kevin McDougal, TJ Marty, and Dean Davis, the Oklahoma House of Representatives extends to Officer Michael Pill sincere congratulations and directs this citation to be presented.
All right.
Miss Mayor, is there, if we take a picture with,
Yeah.
Okay.
We're all gonna come down and get a picture.
thank you.
Miss Mayor.
I'm trying to say.
I didn't touch it. I'm on camera.
Oh, wait, there's more. So Officer Peel, I think what we're going to do now is show a video so people have a better understanding, and then we're going to let you wrap us up. That's okay. And yeah, he hasn't seen this, so we'll.
Sometimes we judge the job what the police does because we don't know what is inside that. But after going to the class and learn, everything makes sense now. Everything that I was biased about changed completely. And that's what I decided not just participate the first time, but also get more involved so that way I spread the word in my community, so that way they know what the police is about. I recommend everybody who has any doubts or curiosity about how the police matters work, they need to attend this class.
When I was little, when I was 12-year-old, 13-year-old, I always was so scared to police people. I grew up thinking they're dangerous and it's not good to be around them because they mean. So when I took the class, it changed my whole view of point of that. I learned how they invest time on their education, on their training to protect the community.
It was a lot of barriers, but he again overcome every single barrier that he has, and he put this class together, and now the whole Spanish community is more aware about what we're doing here, and I'm so proud and so honored to help him in whatever he needs me to do.
Animo muchísimo a la comunidad hispana para que se tome el tiempo de conocer lo que es la Academia de Policía aquí en Broken Arrow, porque necesitamos mucha educación los papás, los jóvenes, en saber cómo funcionan estas personas que están cuidándonos todo el tiempo y protegiéndonos. Es algo que necesitamos la comunidad hispana para poder juntos con ellos parar mejor el crimen y los jóvenes tengan un futuro mejor gracias a las clases y lo que aprendemos con la comunidad del Broken Arrow Police Grupo. Gracias.
Okay, hold up just a second, Officer Pill. So I'm not going to reread what the chief and also Representative Ford said, but the last paragraph I'm going to read because that has not been touched on. And this is actually from a press release from the United States Department of Justice talking about Officer Peel and his award. Since the start of Citizens Police Academy in Spanish, reporting of minor crimes has increased and the incidence of violent crimes has decreased in Broken Arrow's Spanish-speaking communities. Officer Peel has heard from residents accrediting the relationships the department has built with the Spanish-speaking community, and from fellow officers agreeing that have experienced more Spanish speakers coming forward as witnesses. Broken Arrow Police Departments and others, there's other, my contacts are, it's not as easy. And a Spanish program is now influencing surrounding areas as police departments in other states have asked for information about the program's design and coordination. Officer Pill not only makes certain everyone in his local community has access to the police department services, but also shares his experience and resources with other states who help to start similar programs. And Officer Pill is pretty amazing, but what I believe what the whole reason that he's getting recognized is because he does not speak Spanish, as it was mentioned before. And so for him to pull this off and to be organized and have a great team behind him, this award was definitely deserving, warranted. Yes. So Officer Pill.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, councilors, City Manager Spurgeon. Those of you who know me ought to know better than to give me the floor and an open mic. But I'll try to keep my comments brief. The list of instructors is quite an extensive list, but it's that way by design. I wanted to touch on that with you to kind of explain why we do that. Each class that we have subject matter experts in that topic for every week. So this does three things for the department. Number one, it enhances the experience for the students because they have the best instructors they can possibly have every week of the academy. Number two, it allows the students to meet a much larger cross-section of the department. So they're meeting all these different officers with all these different backstories and all these different paths to law enforcement, but they're seeing the tie-in to all those officers and the role that we each play in the overall mission of keeping the public safe. And finally, as the students hear those backstories, as they hear our histories individually, they start to find commonalities with the officers. They start to see us as individuals rather than as just guns and badges. They see that we aren't just officers, but we're actually part of the community that we serve, this community, Broken Arrow. Ideally, we'll even have some of those younger students who see themselves in the officers, who say, I can do that, I can be that, and then work to obtain that goal. And of note, since we started this academy, we've more than doubled the number of Spanish-speaking officers we have with the police department. And I don't know if there's a correlation with the academy, but it's certainly true that we're getting more of them. When I was notified by the Department of Justice that I had been selected for this award, I started thinking about it, and I was trying to think why. Why did they pick me out of all the applicants that they had? And while I can tell you it's very difficult to recruit and coordinate a program in a language that you don't speak, that wasn't the reason I won. I feel that I was selected solely because I've been blessed. I've been blessed by a family that is supportive and that understands the sacrifices I make for this city and for this agency. Been blessed to live in a community that partners with us and appreciates our engagement efforts. I've been blessed to have a chief of police who has the vision to see the value in what we do and who gives us the direction and support to carry it out. I've been blessed to have city leadership who endorse and participate in our programs. And I've been blessed to have all my brothers and sisters at the Broken Arrow Police Department because they're the ones that make these programs successful. Thank you.
Okay, one last thing. My very first challenge coin that I get to give out. So I believe it's the mayor. She travels. I mean, we all travel, but she travels and she'll get a coin from other people, and we didn't have our own coin. So we finally have our coin, and I don't know, you all may have already given some out, or is this the very?
I don't have one.
I just got this. So this is my very first one I'm giving out, and I'm giving it to Officer Peel.
Oh, I love it.
If I cried, I would cry right now.
You're supposed to hold it in your hand and shake his hand when you present it. Just FYI.
I'm a civilian. So.
That's awesome.
All right.
I think one of the reasons he won this is because of his humility. But if we keep talking about him, he might become less humble. So, no, Officer Peel, we are blessed to have you in our city.
And all the volunteers as well.
Yes,
Thank you.
every single one of you. But it takes, I mean, you are a leader that people want to follow, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, item 10 is citizens' opportunity to address the council. We have none. Item 11, general council business. 11A, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of resolution 1537. Nate Ellis.
Sorry, we blasted right through public comment.
All right.
Okay, before you tonight is a resolution that adopts the economic development agreement that's been the subject of the TIF district that we actually adopted a couple of weeks ago. And so just again, kind of the high points, this is the area that's immediately to the east of Lowe's, that vacant area. There's a proposal by Parks Group to develop a large retail center there, and the TIF was put together to capture the increment of new sales tax that's generated as a result of the development. And 2 cents of that would be captured for purposes of the TIF. The other 1.55 cents would go back to the city as it normally does, and that 2 cents would be used as a rebate, kind of on a pay-as-you-go. So as they generate retail sales once they're open, they would receive a rebate over a 23-year time horizon up to $16 million in total. So if they get that number before then it'll cut off early. If they don't make it by 23 years, then it'll cut off at the 23 years. So that's how the TIF is structured. The agreement was put together and is reflective of the terms of the project plan and the ordinance that was adopted by the city. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
I do not have any questions, but Councilor Green, since you are not aware of this, you are able to abstain if you'd like. If you feel so inclined. Or if you're aware of it and you want to vote for it, you may do that as well.
Could we have Jennifer Rush come up and actually talk a little bit about the project?
Sure.
For the public, because this is going to be an amazing development for our community. And I think that there may be some information that she can share.
Sure.
Good evening, Council, Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Manager, and newly elected Councilor Green. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about this development, and I also brought up, I have Mr. Bob Martin from the Parks Development Group as well, because this is a true example of a public-private partnership process. So this land, when I first started as economic developer 2 years ago, this land really struggled to develop. And it was due to the high cost of construction for what was needed in this area. We have a lot of development within Broken Arrow that is seeking to push east. but they have gaps in between that development. So not only will this development impact Broken Arrow as a whole, but I think it will impact development down the east part of Broken Arrow as well. So conversations between, I really wanted to bring up Bob with Parks Group to talk about the project because it obviously takes that private partner. And the Parks Development Group has been that private partner working on this project, along with Matt Martis from Payne and Associates. They've put together a lot of this process. They've put together the retailers, and I believe that Broken Arrow is going to be very excited to see the lineup and who will be coming into our city. So, Bob, would you like to say a few words?
No.
No.
My name is Bob Martin. I work for the Parks Development Group in Franklin, Tennessee. The Parks Companies has been in and out of Oklahoma for 15 years. We have 2 current projects on the west side of Tulsa, but we've worked unsuccessfully or maybe not enough focus. Wasso, Claremore, Jinx. We came here 13 or 14 years ago to put in look for the site for one of your 2 biggest tenants, retail tenants in Broken Arrow. Matt Martis with Payne and Associates introduced us to this site. We had seen it before, but COVID kind of set us back. And we have other centers in Alabama and Oklahoma and Tennessee. We're a 44-year-old construction company. We've built in all 50 states. We've built 135 movie theaters. And so Matt actually took me by this site, showing me something else. I missed the whole dang site. It's behind what he was wanting to do. But Broken Arrow, as you look at it, maybe not, I think you all probably realize it more, it fit the demographic. It fit the people. It fit the type of centers that we were looking to do. And it was just by luck because that beautiful piece of property has sat there vacant for so long. And some of the same tenants, it doesn't matter where it is that we're building for, would say, hey, have you seen that site in Broken Arrow? No, well, no, but I'll look. But this site fits all the boxes that a developer like our company would look at. Now we have a lot of big projects. We have some that are in the $180 million range, tenants that I can't even pronounce. But this fits my personality. I met my wife in Oklahoma City. I've never been back since. I can't tell you why. So some 45 years ago. And so, but our company, every time I bring somebody out there, oh, we love this place. We love this place. So I'm just appreciative of the opportunity. And it wasn't anything that we did. That beautiful site sat there fallow, and I can't even tell you why. But we're awfully thankful. We're awfully proud. Excited to be here.
It was waiting just for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's meant to be.
Well, a lot of these things, people will say, well, if you're from Nashville, what are you doing in Woodward, Oklahoma? Or what are you doing in Denver, Colorado? What are you doing in downtown Cincinnati? There's no real magic. A lot of times our tenants ask us to go. We have Matt and I are working on a new one. And this goes back a lot of years too. A site in New Mexico. Well, why would you want to go to Mexico? Now I'm going to tell you something that is really, Michael, as you know, we're focusing on communities that can give us support. We couldn't build this center today. Our internal rate of return is around 5 or 6%, which is, as you know, is 2, 3, 4% over the projected interest rate. We couldn't do it without your help. We couldn't do it without you guys seeing what this has become. So truly, we're working in only in the states and the communities. Now, we started this with no hope. I think we came in and badgered Michael a little bit, but Jennifer brought us here to where we are today. So thank you all. We're blessed to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Any further discussion?
It didn't take much arm
Yeah.
twisting because they have a great lineup. Obviously, there's information we can't share with the public in terms of the businesses because of the confidentialities, but I can assure you there are letters of intent and they're moving forward, and our community is going to be very, very happy with the businesses they'll be announcing at the appropriate time. And maybe Jennifer can speak to when we believe construction might start. You know when construction what tentative time frame, Bob, construction may start?
End of the year.
Right now, we're supposed to close on the property hopefully mid-October, but I can't imagine that construction would start before next March or April.
Thank you.
All right.
I recommend approval, Mayor.
Entertain a motion.
Let's see what the motion is supposed to be. Approve. I would like to make a motion to approve the resolution authorizing the Broken Arrow Economic Development Authority to assist the city in carrying out and administering Adams Creek Economic Development Project Plan adopted by the city.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Green,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Parks,
Yes.
Gillespie,
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes. Thank you, Nate. All right, item 11B, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of and authorization to execute resolution number 1535 to adopt the fiscal year 23-24 budget. Cindy?
Good evening. It's that time of year again. July 1st is our new beginning of our new fiscal year. The proposed 23-24 budget that was presented to council, we had two special meetings, May 9th and May 11th. And we also did a public hearing on June 5th. The proposed budget under consideration totals $354,890,776. This is the exact same budget that has been discussed on May 9th and May 11th and the public hearing. Staff recommends approval of resolution 1535 and authorizes execution.
Any discussion?
I make a motion to approve resolution number 1535 and authorize its execution.
Second. Okay. Go ahead, Christine.
Motion in 2 seconds.
I was pausing to see if Justin wanted to make his first second.
Roll call.
Green,
I did get to hear a little bit about this last meeting, but I don't have enough knowledge, so I'm going to abstain.
Okay. He won't have that problem next year.
Yeah.
that's right.
He gets to sit through several of my PowerPoints.
Yes. It's riveting.
To
Ford,
say the least.
Yes.
Parks,
Yes.
Gillespie,
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes.
And you'll have a complete bound copy in a couple of weeks.
God bless you. All right, 11C, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of and authorization to execute resolution number 1536, authorizing the city attorney to enter into a final jury entry judgment in Bluebell Creameries versus the city of Broken Arrow. Trevor.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, Mr. City Manager. Congratulations, Councilor Green. The item that you have before you is a follow-up to a closure of an easement that the landowner had, which was Bluebell Creamery. Essentially, there was an existing utility easement that's no longer used. It's no longer needed. There's no utilities in it that need to be used. The landowner can use this property for other purposes. Once it's closed, the next step is for the landowner to go to district court to file a district court action to foreclose the right of the city to reopen that. Since there's no easements located within that, there's no public need or use for it. We recommend that we consent to the closure of that easement. So we would then enter into an agreed journal entry of judgment to that effect. Happy to answer any questions that you may have on that.
Okay. Any questions, discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 1534.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Green,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Parks,
Yes.
Gillespie,
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes. Item 12, 12A, consideration, discussion, and possible preview of ordinance number 3793, an amendment to Broken Arrow Code of Ordinances, Section 1612, disturbing the peace, disorderly conduct. Trevor.
Let me make one
Yeah.
comment on that last one.
It
I
was,
think it's 1536.
it is 1536. The actual recommendation at the bottom says 1534, but when I said it,
Okay.
I was looking at it.
Well, I was looking at the 36. And I
Yeah.
thought, wait a minute. Then I thought, well, I was
No, you're
wrong,
right.
But it's 36.
You're right.
Thank you for catching that
So should I make another?
error. So if we would go back and we could revote so
Okay.
we can clarify so the record's clear.
Should I rescind my last? Do I have to do that?
It's
or-
not necessary.
Okay.
We could
I just want to
have-
clarify that my last motion was to approve resolution number 1536
Second.
with the revote.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Green,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Parks,
Yes.
Gillespie,
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. And Mayor, we're on item 12A.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so as this body may recall, there had been some controversy over the enforcement of the noise ordinance, specifically in the Rose District. I know that there had been previous discussions about making the Rose District an entertainment venue that would have music, more of a nightlife feel. And obviously, one of the difficulties that has been encountered with the city is that we have residents that live down there. And so when we had some complaints about the enforcement from both sides, from I think some music venues, restaurants, and then also some residents who had lived down there, we were tasked with having basically a working group to review what options that we would have available to us. So the legal department worked with community development, also with the police department, to kind of look at the direction the city was going, what was the planned use for the Rose District, how can we accommodate some of these competing interests that we have from different folks, and the mechanism that was landed on for your consideration in this preview ordinance basically does two things. Kyle, could you bring up the attachment shows the Rose District downtown area? Thank you. So the first thing that the proposed preview ordinance does is it carves out an exception from our disturbing the peace and disorderly conduct. So as it currently reads under Chapter 16, Article 1, Section 16-12, we make it unlawful for any person at any time to willfully or maliciously disturb the public peace or quietude by creating any noise of such character or duration so as to be loud and unnecessary to a person of ordinary sensibilities. What we heard was it sounded like there were some difficulties in definitions in terms of folks coming to an agreement on, well, what constitutes too loud for a reasonable person. And so we also had difficulties with citizens that had noise complaints coming forward to prosecute their noise complaints. Obviously our police officers cannot be everywhere all at once, all the time. And so one of the first things that the group did is it looked at, well, is there a certain period of time that makes more sense for this area to be used for nightlife? And should that be exempted from the noise ordinance? And so the first thing that is done is it exempts this Rose District area that's outlined there, this overlay district, specifically for noises between the hours of 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. And this is going to be Friday and Saturday. For this geographic area, it shall not be deemed violation of disturbing the peace ordinance and shall not be deemed a violation of this section. So in essence, what the proposed preview ordinance does is it carves out an exception to our disturbing the peace ordinance for mostly when the nightlife is happening in this area, with our understanding that the policy reason being we want to encourage an area folks can come to entertain, be out later, taking music shows, have their dinners. So that's the first thing that it does. And then the second item that we discovered is when we were listing the types of noises that would disturb the public, we realized that we did not have we had a catch-all about any other noises, but we didn't have a specific section that addressed construction noises. So we went ahead and added a portion on there that included defining unlawful noises as construction activities. That includes the erection, excavation, demolition, building, land clearing, or other construction-related activities. We did make an exception for public emergencies or if there's an interest in public safety. For example, We have several trees that are down blocking intersections and roads. We're going to exempt our work because the public safety and health and emergencies would trump that. So those are the two main changes that are proposed in the preview ordinance. Just by way of background, the preview ordinance, if it is set for preview, it gives a chance for the public to have comments, for you to have input. If you have feedback that you'd like to give to staff, certainly I would welcome that. And then we would set it for final adoption for consideration at the next meeting on July the 18th. So I know that we have Assistant City Manager Norm Stevens, who was very instrumental in navigating this compromise and project. I'm here to answer any questions. We have community development here as well. So with that, I'd turn it over to the body.
Yeah, I mean, it makes perfect sense. It's an arts and entertainment district, and it's exactly what we have been wanting all along, is to have some type of night presence. We've got the PAC that has concerts that come in, and then people want to go somewhere afterwards, and we don't want them leaving our city. And it makes sense that they would go into the Rose District. But sometimes that's after 9 or 10 p.m. So that on a Friday or Saturday makes perfect sense. So,
Mayor, the only thing I could add is Trevor did a great job explaining it. I think this has accomplished what council was looking for. And there may be other areas in the community that we need to look at this as well. And we have, one of the council members may bring that up, but I do think this accomplishes what we're looking for in terms of overall trying to create more of a nightlife for entertainment within that specific area of our downtown.
Yeah, I mentioned we might want to consider this for New Orleans Square for that overlay at some point, but I'm in favor of moving forward with this right now.
I think that makes perfect sense, Vice Mayor, and we can get it in place in advance. So therefore, we wouldn't have to do, should there be a matter, folks would know, anybody that wants to reinvest or invest would know that that's something that's in place at this time.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, Mr. Spurgeon. Legal already has that teed up. The language is ready. So as early as the next council meeting, we can do a preview ordinance on New Orleans Square if the council so desires.
I think it's important people in New Orleans Square, the owners, shop owners, and all are aware of it. So I'm in favor of it. We're looking at the point of destination from the first point on this Rose District. We want people there, as the mayor said. So we want them there, and on Friday and Saturday nights, nightlife. So I'm certainly in favor of it. And I think the sooner we make that known for the New Orleans Square, because it is a standalone, destination, same as the downtown is.
Yes, sir.
Then we'll bring that forward on the 18th, and I would ask council to set this for final adoption on the 18th of July as well.
okay. I'll entertain that motion.
Make a motion to preview ordinance number, is it 3793? Yes, 3793. Except for adoption.
I'll second that motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Green,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Parks,
Yes,
Gillespie,
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes.
I was at my second meeting before I ever made a second. Good job.
All right. Item 12B, consideration, discussion, and possible preview of ordinance number 3794. Trevor.
Thank you, Mayor. There's been an ongoing discussion about how do we properly fund the services the city provides for its citizens. There is a cost for everything, and the cost has been going up, as everyone is aware of that. One of the most important services that we do provide to our citizens is the ability to get them life-saving treatment. We have one of the premier, if not the premier, paramedic services that we have in this region. And one of the main sources of funding that we had adopted since 2015 was the Life Ride program. In essence, Life Ride program is an emergency medical services program that provides valuable cost savings for eligible and enrolled citizens. What we found is originally, as it was rolled out, Life Ride was an optional service, meaning you could opt out of the program. So when it was initially rolled out, we found participation rates of approximately 93%. That was in 2016. As of 2019, the Life Ride customers had fallen to 78%, and I think the most recent numbers that we had were 68.5%. And just to clarify, the Life Ride program is in essence a fee that the users of the service pay every month in order to obtain ambulance service coverage, and paramedic service coverage to be taken in the event of emergency. So if a person is in need of an ambulance and they have the Life Ride service and the ambulance runs on to their program to their home, and they're taken to the hospital, there won't be any balance billing to the person who uses that service. The city agrees to take whatever payment is made by their insurance, whether or not that covers the entire bill or not. So it's in essence a zero out-of-pocket program. But with the declining optional participation rate, city's finance department had determined that the subscription program doesn't cover the cost to provide these ambulance services. The cost of the city's emergency medical transport program for fiscal year 2017 was $6,047,438, but the Life Ride program only generated $5,038,465, and the deficiency for each fiscal year has only increased since. And initiating a mandatory fee will generate an additional estimated $658,568,000 in revenue and help reduce the deficit of Life Ride program. So in essence, the main change is being considered for preview here is to removing the ability to opt out from the fee. And the justification is this is a service, much like a stormwater fee service, for a actual service that's valuable and received by the citizens. The proposed fee would be mandatory. There'd be no opt-out provision for those located within the city's municipal limits. The mandatory fee would be effective beginning October 1st, 2023. This would allow time for the city to educate the citizens on this change, also to talk about some of the important needs for this program, the benefits of it, and just give them time to realize what the changes would be on the bill. There is, for newly established accounts, many customers that move into the residence located within the city's municipal limits, or they transfer into the city's municipal limits. The mandatory fee will become effective upon passage of the ordinance on July 31st, 2023. That's when we're asking you to set it for final adoption. So with that being said, I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have, or if there's any additional changes or directions that you'd like to see on this item.
I would just make a comment that I think that from my perspective, we have one of the best ambulance service in the state. I know Edmond's having trouble right now, the city of Edmond, on their ambulance and looking at bringing other people in. So anything we can do to sustain our ambulance service, I think we definitely need to do. And if it stays at 95%, we might not have ever considered that. But as it started dropping out, those are revenues that we can use to help sustain it until someday that we come up with a legal way to go out into the public with maybe ad valorem taxes or whatever. But we need to do what we can to sustain the system that we've got. And I think this is one of the ways is to utilize this money. So I'm definitely in favor of it. In fact, I'd make a motion to approve ordinance number 3794.
And at this point, if I may, is just to preview it and set it for adoption.
Okay.
If I can, Mayor, just real quick, the council mentioned specifically at the work session importance of public education, and this is a broad range. I'm trying to narrow it down, but according to finance, the letters that I'll be sending out to those people that are currently not enrolled could be somewhere between 12,000 and 19,000. And so I'm trying to narrow that down because we have folks that are inside the city limits and outside the city limits so I've got to work through all those, but I will be putting together a very comprehensive letter on the importance of why we have this service, the benefits of it, and giving them an understanding about they'll be transitioning into actually being a part of the program effective October 1st.
I think it's important to send the letter for sure, because if they're not paying for it now, I don't want it to be a surprise on their bill. But and I also appreciate you going into detail why we're having to do it. I mean, so. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's important because 5 of you and myself and utility billings are going, when those letters go out, it's going to generate calls. Obviously, some folks may feel it's okay to take a risk of not having it, but to determining, as Councilman Park said, having the top of the line service when it's needed for our citizens is extremely important. And it's necessary to have the revenue to be able to do that. And this is going to help. This is going to help this with the sustaining of this important service within the fire department and our organization.
I would also like to comment, if I may, that, with Broken Arrow just being voted one of the safest cities, I like to say I think our first responders is a large part in making that happen. So anything we can do to support that, I'm for.
Agreed. All right.
Thanks, Trevor.
So you need a motion to set
Uh,
preview?
Yeah, set a preview, right?
Our state legislators aren't in here anymore, but we do have to figure out some tax reform or something so that we can sustain our public
Sure.
safety in our city or in our state. And I think it's really important we figure out something on the state level.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Green,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Parks,
Yes.
Gillespie,
Yes.
Climpy.
Yes. All right. There are no ordinances, remarks, and inquiries by, well, I saw Jerry come down and I thought I was missing an item, but you're just up, you're ready. You're just.
He's on
you're
deck
teed up.
for, yeah.
Just on deck, okay.
He's getting closer.
Yes. Okay, so, remarks and inquiries by governing body members.
I have a comment that I started to make a while ago when our two young fishermen were in here. And I thought, no, I don't want to scare them. But, a lot of you know that I worked in prisons for 10 years and taught for the career tech. And I think the council's heard me make this comment before because it amazed me. But one thing I learned, there's two things you don't see in prison with inmates. And one is fishermen and the other is cowboys. And so I would ask my inmates and interview with them every month. I'd spend an hour with each one, kind of see where they're going, where they've been. And they never had anybody to take them fishing. They've never had anybody, cowboys work hard, usually have families, surrounding them. And that was the conclusion that my inmates come up with. They just didn't have that family body. And I think it's really important that these fishermen, the families need to know that you developed a more quality person, I think, by doing those two things. So, my inmates said they were going to go fishing when they left, so I hope they did.
Yes. Well, I want to again congratulate our newest council member, Mr. Green. Does it seem strange to say Green, Mr. Green?
That's my older brother.
Yeah.
That's right.
Older brother. I was gonna remind everyone, Taste of Summer is this Saturday, free Bluebell ice cream. So I'm sure our chairman of the chamber over there is excited that I reminded people. And you may see some of us in the dunk tank. So feel free to come out and throw a few balls at us. And then I'm actually going on a ghost tour of the Rose District on Friday. Yes, the three of us. So I'm not sure if I'm excited about that or not.
Me either. I'm like,
But we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
It's
just like a,
I don't know.
like
we saw it
it's a
online.
company out there because I've done a tour in Tulsa before,
Yeah.
but now they have a tour of the Rose District.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I went on one in Nashville.
I guess we need to do a public meeting. We won't talk about city business, I promise. I'll be too scared to even talk. So
Yeah, that's.
We won't talk to each other.
But
yeah,
So anyone else?
I'll share.
Okay.
So this Saturday, June 24th in New Orleans Square, Water's Edge Winery at their event center. There is a concert, a free concert from 6 to 10 p.m. Derek St. Holmes with the Ted Nugent Band. And let me see, he's with, trying to see, I was looking this up. Derek St. Holmes from the Ted Nugent Band and the legendary blues rock guitarist Pat Travers. They'll be performing together with a local band, Fat Cat.
Which is
Free-
Representative Beth Gatter's band.
Oh, it is.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. It's going to be awesome because, Derek St. Holmes was out there a couple years ago. Or was that last year?
Last year.
Seemed like 2 years ago. And just did a fantastic job. And then the next week is the block party at the same location. We're just going to take over New Orleans Square, and everyone will be sitting on those benches and, using our crosswalks and doing all the good stuff.
Enjoying
So,
the banners with the same font.
yes, that's right.
Yes.
And I will also add the 27th Amendment, the last amendment, no law, and just if you don't know, I read something from the Constitution every week, so hopefully.
Yes.
No law varying the compensation for the services of senators and representatives shall take effect until an election of representatives shall have intervened. So all that means is if you vote for a pay raise, you don't get to enjoy the pay raise. You have to wait unless you're voted in again. So that is the 27th Amendment.
I just want to say welcome, Councilor Green. Looking forward to serving with you. Also, another shout out to PSO and their helpers that come in. And if anyone needs help in our city, there are resources out there. You can call 211 or even just call our general. I'm just going to throw this out there. I don't know if we can do it or not. Call our general city number. Call my cell phone number. I don't care. We will get you help. People are probably thinking we don't even have electricity to watch you on the city council meeting tonight. I did get a text about that, but hopefully Saturday at the latest, everyone will have electricity in our city. So, but if there are resources, I know we have cooling stations. Have you already mentioned this?
Did not mention the cooling stations.
So the public safety complex,
and also the
70%
medical
lane.
equipment charging.
Yes. And then also I know the community centers too are also cooling stations. And then Broken Arrow Neighbors too are giving out food that you don't have to keep refrigerated if you need it. And I know they're loosening up a lot of what normally rules you have to follow. So there's resources out there.
And another idea, which we did this at my daughter's house today, which I thought of just now, is for those of you that have a plug-in in your own vehicle. So if you have a truck or like my Jeep, or if you have, what is it called? The thing you plug into your lighter and then it makes it a converter. You actually, take that to your house, turn on your car, and you can plug in your freezers and use an extension cord, plug in your freezer, your fridge, and at least get them back up to temp. And, and then you can, just for a little while. So we actually did that today and it works. So that's another idea. If you do not have a generator, you do have a generator in your car, and you can buy the converter, and it's like $100, well, $150, or if you already have the plug-in in your vehicle. So just an idea.
And if you are using a generator, leave it outside. Carbon monoxide is very, very dangerous. And so just make sure your generator's outside in an open area.
Don't start your car with the garage door closed.
Yes.
Please.
Prevention, it's in my blood. Sorry.
Yes.
This is what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else? Or?
All right, City Manager.
I do, Mayor, members of council. First off, Councilor Green, congratulations on behalf of the entire administration. We look forward to working with you, and the first step will be to get you your email address and get you everything you need to be able to be up to speed on what's happening. And Curtis Green and his team and Cricket Moore will be doing that first and foremost. And secondly, be talking to you about your orientation into the organization to learn what's going on. Some of the most pertinent things in each of the departments that'll be on your schedule. And as a part of the orientation, I was going to do this a month ago, but didn't get the opportunity, is that, in talking to the mayor, and I give her credit for this term, is that I've never looked at orientations as a 3 or 4 month gig. Okay. Because there's so much that goes on within our community. And so I'm going to be proposing to the council members a continuing education type credit initiative, to where I think the council members should go out at your schedule periodically to all the departments, especially when it's pertinent to something that may be coming up, similar to like the orientation. And as we did a couple of years ago, there were a couple of you that went out, if you had the time, with Councilor Ford. And so we're going to talk about that, because I believe education is ongoing for council members. It builds trust amongst the staff and the council, because a lot of times when people get up, they're representing me, but at the same time, there has to be trust between the council members and the directors in order to, because I'm not going to talk the entire meeting, but I need to make sure there's a relationship there in accordance with our form of government. And so I'm going to be discussing an orientation for existing council members for you to consider. But we're looking forward to working with you, sir. And I think you're going to enjoy your time on the city council.
Thank you.
Secondly, which is very prevalent, is the storm. Just a couple points. Jamie Ott, we are very fortunate to have Jamie as our emergency management director. He does an incredible job. I was on the phone with him by way of text since early Saturday all the way up until basically yesterday morning until we took a break and then got back on it. I appreciate Michael Gordon with PSO. I mean, he's been keeping us informed on what's happening. Having been responsible for electricity for 10 years, it's probably one of the most unenviable tasks that anyone can have. I mean, it's great when it's like this, but it challenges you, and you can see what the resources they're committing to bring the system back up. So we appreciate the updates, Michael, and hopefully it won't be till Saturday. I know that you do that because of just trying to underpromise and then overdeliver. But we appreciate all you're doing. All the directors that have been out, I appreciate all their help of their teams. The budget, just to thank you to finance, the department director, staff, and most importantly, the council. It's one of the most important things you do is approving the budget, because that's what we operate on throughout the year. And the budget grows because of the expectations we have of our citizens and the council's desire to serve those citizens. And it does get challenging in some areas, but I enjoy the conversations, and we're going to continue to have 2 work sessions as long as council schedule permit next year, because I like the policy, and then I like the administration. So hopefully you like that format. Vice Mayor mentioned the block party, and then close it out. Officer Peel, just congratulations to him and the entire police department. The chief brought that idea to me, and I said absolutely, because it's just an amazing opportunity, and they've taken it to new heights. Obviously, it's being recognized at a national level. So congratulations to him specifically and our entire police department, chief, for all that you're doing. And that's all I have, Mayor.
We do have an executive session, so I entertain a motion to take a recess to go into BAMA.
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and second. Roll call.
Green,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Parks,
Yes.
Gillespie,
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes. Call the Broken Arrow Municipal Authority meeting to order. Roll call.
Now you have to
Green.
say here.
Here.
Ford,
Here.
Parks,
Here.
Gillespie,
Here.
Wimpy.
Here.
We still mess up
I
sometimes.
did, yes.
so.
Sometimes we say yes here or here,
If you
yes.
do, to say, yes, I'm here.
Yes, I'm
Yes,
here.
Present.
All right. Are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda?
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Green,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Parks,
Yes.
Gillespie,
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes. All right. Item 5A, presentation of the City of Broken Arrow Solid Waste and Recycling Program updates. Jerry Schubert.
Good evening, trustees. Welcome to the party.
Thank you.
Mayor, or City Manager, good to see you. So I'm going to race through this because we've had a pretty fulfilled evening. And so 22773 in presentations, right there under A. Here we go. And it's the attachment.
There it is.
Thank you. Okay, and you can get, perfect. So there's just a couple of updates on what's going on in solid waste. We've got a couple of projects that we're working on that we're really excited about, and I just wanted to share them with the authority at this point. The first is a customer engagement sticker, and I'm going to get into a little detail on that. We have the Clean Award bin program that we're working on right now. I'm going to get into detail on that as well. A green waste pilot that we have been working on. Thank God for that this week specifically.
Perfect timing.
And then some free dump coupons that we're going to be working on as well. So let's get into the first one. So we have started to get national recognition for these. They are a Braille label that goes on the top of the solid waste and the recycling containers that allows us the opportunity to have people who are sight impaired to participate in our programming without having to do the sniff test. Because that's typically how it went before. They have to lift the lid, figure out which is which. And so we got these together, and we have just reached out to the community and said, if you're interested, give us a call. We'll come out. We'll stickier container. And so far, we've gotten a lot of press that has gone national. I'm getting phone calls from other states asking, where, how can I get these? So it's been well received.
How many have we given out?
So far, we've only given out less than a dozen. But they're
It's a dozen,
available. And so, yeah, we're pretty excited about the fact that that's even out there. And there's no one in the state of Oklahoma that's doing this.
Congratulations.
So
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Good
I think
job.
it's pretty cool, but
Yeah,
so
it's very cool.
moving along, the next one is the Clean Award. And I know that this was a big issue specifically for Trustee Ford. And we have been working on trying to get a program together where we can drop a bin in certain wards or certain neighborhoods with the HOA and with code enforcement to try to get some of these neighborhoods that are maybe falling a little behind the opportunity to clean them up. And so we put this into a contract with Waste Management. We worked within the staff, and you folks were gracious enough to give us some money in our budget so that we could do these programs. We have 11 neighborhoods that we've already identified with the use of code enforcement, and we are not going to tell you where they are because otherwise it will turn into a free dump for the entire city. So we will be dropping them on a Friday prior to the event, and then we'll pick them up on a Monday. And we'll get, code enforcement is going to work with us and the HOAs to make sure the notices go out to the neighborhood that it affects. And we're going to try to get them cleaned up. And then Monday we'll roll through there, get the bin out because Waste Management will pull the bin. And then we'll do the cleanup to make sure the neighborhood looks better than it did when we got there.
Awesome.
It won't be
Yeah.
a secret to the neighborhood, just everybody else's neighborhood.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. And right now the whole city looks like a green waste lot. So we're trying to make that go away.
I'm super excited about that program.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It will be really cool.
Yes.
So the next program is our enhanced program for green waste, the pilot that we've been doing. We started in April. We were picking up, last year we picked up green waste for one route just to see where we were at. This year we're picking up green waste in every route. So far, this number is what I did when we put this together 2 weeks ago, but we're at almost 400 tons. So it's 398 tons. This program will run from April to October where we'll sort the green waste and work on some other programming for it so that we can divert it from the landfills. But now we're doing green waste as just trying to catch up from the storm. So I want to thank specifically Rocky's team for all the help. We've been working together to try to coordinate efforts throughout the city and for city management's staff as well. Kenny and Mr. Spurgeon have just been incredible in trying to get us what we need in way of tools to get these things done. So a lot of help.
Rocky's still awake, actually.
I hear say, yeah, Rocky's tired.
Yeah. It's been a long
We
weekend
just
for all
woke
of us.
Rocky up.
Yeah, sorry, Rocky.
So the next program is the introduction of free dump coupons. So one of the things that we're really excited about this coming year is that before we would have 2 free dumps in the year. We'd have one in April and one in October. And traditionally, people would get in the line and have to be all the way out to the street to get there. And it didn't always work. Some weekends it was raining. Some weekends it couldn't make it. And so we started to engage Tulsa and find out how they did this. And it turns out that they had a program where they just give a certificate. They give 2 a year to their paying customers. And they are allowed to go anytime with that certificate. And so we're working on that. We will still have our October event because we want to be able to give out notices to everybody when we have the event that this is how we're going to look to go to in January 24. But these certificates will give us the opportunity to let them pick their date. So they won't get up the landfill on a day that they can't get in and out without being completely muddy.
So would this be mailed to people's houses? Do we come up here to get them?
They would have to come to us.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna track the certificate number and we're gonna work with the landfill so they know what number's coming and they'll have 30 days to use it.
I'm usually working the trash bash, so I don't get rid of my stuff because I'm trying to help everyone
too.
to get rid of their stuff. It's like, I've got stuff I need to get rid of. Good.
Me too.
I love that.
I've yet to be at a free dump event.
Me too.
Because we're always doing trash bags.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes.
So this
I love
this
it.
will open it up to a lot of other people who are currently not able to do it when they want to. So, and then finally, we also have some creative things that we're looking at this coming year that we're going to get into a little bit further. A lot of it has to do with us focusing on the recycling and the contamination rates as they're starting to rise. We're going to be working on that to try to help kind of nip that in the bud. And so we'll be working on some of those. Future state of solid waste, we have 3, and thank you all for that. We have 3 ASLs coming in this year, and I'm really excited about that. We're working on right-sizing the operation and staffing. So as we start bringing trucks in, trucks that took 3 people now take 1. And so we're working on right-sizing that. We're also working on route reorganization, and I call that painting the bridge. You know, if you go to a place like San Francisco where the bridge is over an ocean, they have to go through and sandblast it, and on the other way, they come through and they paint it. They sandblast it and paint it. It's a constant. Well, that's how routing is. We're constantly looking at the routes, rerouting, and trying to get them so that they're as efficient as they possibly can be with the best customer service. Most important thing we do is customer service.
I have a quick question.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
you said where it did take 3 people, now it just takes 1. So does this mean I get to do my ride along with sanitation now? Is there going to be an empty seat?
Yeah, we got saddles. We got a saddle out
I
there.
want to do a ride along.
Actually,
Continuing
if
education.
Yes.
if you wanted to get that kind of education, I'm sure we
100%.
can coordinate that.
Sign me up.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
all right. I will do that.
I want there to be snow at least one time.
I
next year.
know. Because I was going to go
Just
out
once.
with the snow plows, and then that's when the snow that never happened.
I can't promise snow, but I can promise trash and a lot of it. So
We can talk trash.
we also have some things that are coming up, and thank you for the items that were in front of you earlier. Obviously, we had a rate increase at the landfill. It's our usual CPI increase, happens every year. So we're going to be working on our rate adjustments. That's going to help us to stabilize and our increases with our expenditures. Fuel, tip fees, labor, O&M, all costs are up. So, and that's the same for every business. We're a business, so that's what's going on.
Is our green waste going to City of Broken Arrow? Are we taking it somewhere in Broken Arrow, or where are we taking
We're
it?
working on another location, but currently we're still, we're collecting it for weight purposes. And eventually what we plan to do is try to find a composting program, but we're working on that right now. And we're not alone. Every jurisdiction will be required to increase their rates to meet expenses. The difference between us and Tulsa obviously is economy of scale. They have 118,000 customers. We got 38. So things change, and we're trying to be in front of them. So that's what I have. Any questions for me?
Any questions?
I have a question for right now. I know Tulsa has their, I was asking my husband what the name of it was, but it's like you can take green waste there
Yes.
for free. Is it closed right now?
So it's not
power,
free.
right?
We pay for it, actually. Solid Waste pays for it.
Okay.
But it is 55 cents a yard. So it is the cheapest game in town.
Okay.
We love that. It's closed right now because the facility had a downed wire over
Okay.
it. That's the only reason it's closed.
Okay.
Tulsa did a press release this afternoon. They're going to open a temporary site over by the airport,
Yeah, I was just looking
That's
this
what I
up
said.
because
That's
I
what
was
I
like,
thought,
and they're going to open their commercial site, their normal site that we normally would go as residents. They're
Mhm.
only going to open it to us as a municipality. So when Rocky's team and my team
Okay.
are out doing cleanups, we'll have a place to go drop
Okay.
it off.
Okay.
So
so will Broken Arrow residents be able to take it to that temporary site?
the temporary site by the airport, yes, they will.
Okay.
Yeah, and
So I
that'll
can
start
look-
as of noon tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna just look this up so we can put that out. If people want to take their own stuff.
Yes, and the
Someplace.
landfill had a line all the way down into the street today from people who wanted to do their own cleanup
Mhm.
because the facility that they would typically take it to was closed.
Okay.
Can we put that out in our social media and stuff?
Yeah,
Like
we're working with
Jerry,
Aaron
Oh,
to
yeah.
message
Okay,
that
good.
right now.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Because we do that a lot anyway, just because we don't want to wait and we just want stuff cleaned up. So my husband will,
I'm the same way.
Drag
I've
stuff
been out
up
there
there.
half a dozen
Yeah.
times already. So
so, but I don't know where it is located.
Where's the secret?
Yeah, our normal
Takes-
facility is at 145 and or 145th and Pine,
Yeah, okay.
but the new one is out by the airport.
Okay,
Any other questions?
thank you.
Thank you
Mayor.
very much.
All right,
Mayor.
thank you, sir.
Let me just add, I know Councilman Parks, he sat through the solid waste committee meetings that lasted about 2 years. And I can tell you that everything I envisioned our program being, Jerry has been on top of it. And I couldn't be happier. This is what we talked about doing, having a recycling program, having the best practices, picking up trash. And I'm so proud of what we're doing here. And I just want to just compliment him and his team for all they're doing.
And I haven't had in the year since you put this into place, any complaints. You know what I mean? People
Me
about
either.
a trash cart or this, my trash cart smells, all those things that was going to happen didn't happen. Now maybe those people shouldn't hear me saying that now, but.
No, they call, they just don't call you.
I think we're all gonna have smelly trash cans.
We talk to them though. We talk to them. We try to explain to them how to keep it
Take care of
sanitary.
it before they get to me.
That's how we do it. That's
job.
exactly how we do it.
We
Matter of
love your
fact,
passion.
we are going to
Yes.
have a direct line to solid waste that's going to be on the side of the trucks this next year
Oh, good.
to help us get our customers directly to us so that we can do customer service at an even higher level. So
Love
we're very excited about this year. It's going to be a great year.
Did
Thank
we
you.
mention the new magnet?
Oh yeah, we've got.
That's great.
You saw the new magnet that went
Yes.
out. It's got all the materials that can or can't go in the
Yes, I
recycling.
like it.
And that was paid for with a grant.
Oh, like it even
So,
better.
yeah,
Yeah,
thank you,
that's
folks. Have a good night.
Jerry, I like, you have a good arm too, but he was at the dunk tank this weekend. so.
Did
He
he?
didn't participate in it, he
Oh, okay.
participated in dunking people, so,
Oh.
thank you.
Next year.
All right, item 6A, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of the proposed fiscal year 23-24 fiscal plan.
Good
Cindy Arnold.
evening. As we had talked earlier in the city council meeting, we did have a meeting on May 9th and May 11th, and we discussed the authority's budget. This is just an item to approve the FY 2024 Broken Arrow Municipal Financial Plan for 2024 and for $131,164,067.
Do you have any discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve the fiscal year 2023-24 Broken Arrow Municipal Authority Financial Plan.
Second.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second, roll call.
Green,
And I will abstain.
Ford,
Yes.
Parks,
Yes.
Gillespie,
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes. Remarks by,
Bless you.
God bless you. Remarks by governing body members? City manager?
I have none, ma'am.
All right. There is no executive session.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
We have a motion and a second, roll call.
Green,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Parks,
Yes.
Gillespie,
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes. Call the Broken Arrow Economic Development Authority meeting to order, roll call.
Green,
Here.
Ford,
Here.
Parks,
Here.
Gillespie,
Here?
Wimpy.
Here. Are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second?
We have a motion and a second, roll call.
Green,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Parks,
Yes.
Gillespie,
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes. Okay, do I have a different agenda than yours?
In the second page.
Because I've got general authority business on mine. And
Yeah, I do. It's just on the next page.
That's right.
I know it's
Oh,
weird.
got it. It is
I
weird.
was
Okay.
thinking it was, I
Uh,
also thought it was done.
I'm like, why is mine different than everyone else? All right, item 5 is presentations. There are none. General authority business, 6A, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of resolution number 1538, a resolution accepting the responsibilities as designated to the Broken Arrow Economic Development Authority by the city of Broken Arrow. Nate Ellis.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a companion item, just action by the Economic Development Authority to approve the same thing that was approved by the council.
For the tip.
For the tip.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution number 1538.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Green,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Parks,
Yes.
Gillespie,
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Item 6B, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of the proposed fiscal year 23-24 fiscal plan for the Broken Arrow Economic Development Authority. Cindy Arnold.
Once again, this is for Broken Arrow Economic Development Authority. This is to approve their financial plan for FY '24, which was approved by City Council at the earlier meeting. Their financial plan for FY '24 is $5,762,043, and staff is recommending approval for the fiscal year '24 Economic Development Authority financial plan.
I'll make a motion to approve the proposed fiscal year 2023-2024 financial plan.
Second?
The motion and a second, roll call.
Green,
Abstain.
Ford,
Yes.
Parks,
Yes.
Gillespie,
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Any remarks or inquiries by governing body members? City Manager?
No, ma'am.
We do have an executive session. So do we want to go into a brief recess, but go back into general, or just go ahead and stay here? Probably stay here.
Yes.
I say here.
Oh, it's here.
Sounds good.
So-
So, stay here.
Thank you.
Make a motion to clear the room, to go
Brief
into,
recess.
to go into executive session.
Second. Motion, we have a motion and a second, roll call.
Green,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Parks,
Yes.
Gillespie,
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes.
Yes.
This is the part where we-
Sounds great for it.